Hey there, boys and girls of YouTube world. Today, the Duff Dog and I are going to see if we can't get this 1962 Thunderbird Sports Roadster. That's right, this thing is special. So that's right, it is a two-seat Roadster 1962 Thunderbird Convertible. There actually was rear seats in it, but pretty rare car. Let's get this thing drug inside. If you haven't, go ahead and check out this clip from when we drug this thing out of a barn where it had been sitting for who knows how long. A little bit better shot of the Bullet Bird. It's a really dry car. Started out with a good car. Hopefully the floors are good. Can't imagine they're that great with all the water and snow that it's got in there. Unfortunately, I think we're missing pretty much everything. Let me show you. Oh, that's a good sign. Carburetor's loose, usually the engine's loose. And there's a stack of washers up there, nothing but the finest. I just noticed this, some of Duff's buddies put their paw prints all over this thing. I'm sure that's whose fecal matter's on the inside. It must have been a long, cold winter. Probably gonna want to replace that at some point. Sorry, Ford Pierce. Come on, baby, can you do it one more time? We're on the home stretch. All right, we got this Bullet Bird inside. Let's go ahead. First thing we're gonna do is do just a quick walk around and let's tear into the interior of this thing because there's a bunch of stuff on the inside that we need to get out because it's missing on the outside. And we can also see what's going on the inside. How about that? I'm gonna start this out by prefacing that I know very minimal about Thunderbirds, so take it easy on me. Bullet Birds are my favorite ones. 61, 62, I'm not sure the years, I don't know a lot about the other birds, but here we go. Right up front, these things got the great big chrome grille and bumper. That's in the car. It's got this cool hood scoop. I love the trim that goes around the top. I don't see that in the car, so that's gonna be kind of disappointing. I love the point that they come to on the front end. And then the reason they call them the Bullet Bird is because of that point. And then because of these jet booster style taillights that are there. I did find out that the trunks open backwards on convertibles. I'm assuming they go the correct way on hardtops, but I don't know. Again, the back bumper is missing in the taillights, but I think it's inside of the car. This thing is super solid, no rust in the lower quarters or the rockers or the doors or nothing. So I'm excited about it. It is like some type of electric over hydraulic setup in the back here. Got it. Whew. So yeah, it looks like there's some type of speedometer cable operation thing for latching and unlatching. I don't know. Some solenoids, some motors, some connectors. These look like they're hydraulic cylinders. That's way too many wires. And there's definitely some rat poop and other things going on down there. Oh, these things screw into place. That's what latches it down. Oh, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. And I don't know what these were for, but that must have been flip something in or out. Pretty sure all these cars came with buckets and console. Some of them had swing away steering columns. Not a fan of those. Looks like this car's got power windows and locks. Not excited about that, but it is what it is. It's got these cool little wing window deflectors. Unfortunately, the windshield's cracked. I think we're missing the antenna, the wipers. I'm guessing there would have been some emblems maybe down there. And it looks like there was a couple holes in the front of the hood. All right, I'm gonna drag everything out of this car and we'll see what we got. No idea what that is. Oh, that must be the cover that goes over. I don't know. Let's figure that out. Front bumper and grill assembly. 75-pound FE intake manifold. At least it's a 4-barrel. Some FE cylinder heads and exhaust manifolds. Bumper jack. Spare alternator. It's even free. Oh, rear taillights. Grief. Transmission cross number? Wonder why that wouldn't be in there. Push bar / license plate bracket. Guess that's for the front. And a giant clock. That looks GM-esque. I don't think it's for this car. Let's see if we can find some markings on it. Delco radio. I'm guessing GM. But there's usually a year on these things. Anyway, comment down below if you know what that clock is out of. unfortunately, I think we're missing pretty much everything. Let me show you. The trunk floors look good, needs a good cleaning. I think the floors are all pretty much there. Again, need a good clean. Passenger seats unbolted. We're missing the rear seat. The glass is actually in here. We're missing the door handle and all that trim. We did find the front bumper and then the license plate bracket slash push bar, but we're missing all the trim for the hood, the inserts for the hood, the headlight buckets, and all that stuff. I was hoping that would be in the car or attached to the bumper. Center console, heater control, steering column, keys are even in it. Looks like we're missing the armrest on the driver's side. I would say we're missing it on the passenger side as well, but that's the key to it being a sports roadster, is that little grab handle right there. Somebody noticed that in the video. And then there would also be a fiberglass cover to cover up the back seat. 2-seat means roadster, so that would cover up that seat and make it into a roadster. Check that cool Thunderbird out with this green inlay. It looks like this bad boy's got 72,700 miles on her. And then these cars would have came with Kelsey Hayes wire wheels, and because of the wire wheels, you couldn't get a fender skirt on them, so they did not come with fender skirts. And the way you could tell is by the VIN tag or the body tag. It'll tell you that this thing is a sports roadster. The later cars had the body style, the earlier cars, it was kind of a crapshoot, but this is a later car, so it's right in the VIN or on the body tag that this car was in fact a sports roadster. So there's the rear bumper. We got the taillight buckets, but we don't have the taillight lenses. It's got this neat little flipper here for the fuel filler. That's kind of neat. The backup lights are still in it. It looks like somebody blasted and painted the bumper brackets, so they were working on this thing, obviously. And then inside the car, we found a FE intake. It's date-coded C2AE, so I think that's the factory 62 4-barrel intake. I'm guessing those are the corresponding cylinder heads. Transmission mount, I don't know if it's for this car or a similar car or what it's off of. Same deal with the alternator and bumper jack. And I don't know what this piece is, but we'll hang on to it just in case. And then there's this piece here. It's kind of got a little body line right there that might match up with something, but I don't know. Comment down below if you know where that piece goes, if we don't figure it out by the end of the video. Just kidding, I figured out what this piece is for. It actually goes on some hinges underneath here. So when you flip the trunk lid down and the convertible top is down, it flips out and then it covers that area right there. It's shown in the video forthcoming. And right here next to the power windows and lock switch is the top switch. You can tell it's the top switch by the way that it is. But anyway, I want to get this thing running, so let's go ahead and open the hood on this thing and see what we got underneath the hood. Should be a 390. That's what most of these cars come with. My understanding is that they put a truck engine in this thing at one time. This is what one of the sons or uncles or brothers said, so we'll find out. I thought I was buying it without the engine in it, and the engine was in another building. We opened the hood, engine was in it, so we left the other 390 in the building, and that was like a 68 engine. So we knew it wasn't the factory one for this car. We interrupt your regularly scheduled shenanigans to bring you this Mortske Minute. This Mortske Minute is on the Sports Roadster, specifically the Thunderbird Sports Roadster. It was released in 1962 with 1,427 models built, this being one of them, and 120 of those 1,427 came with the M Code 390, which was a tri-power or 2-barrel 390 V8 option. Now, what did you get with a sports roadster? Well, you got a different body number and VIN number indicating that it was a sports roadster. Some of the early ones didn't have this, but you also got 48-spoke Kelsey Hayes wheels, which were prone to failure. Elvis, that's right, the Elvis. Elvis himself has left the building. He had a failure of one of these wheels that caused an accident, which was quickly remedied after that. You also got a passenger side grab handle that this car had, which is how people identified this as a sports roadster. Also with the Kelsey Hayes wheels, you could not get the fender skirts, as the spinners would be in the way of the fender skirt option. You also got special sports roadster fender badging. And most importantly, which is missing from this car, you got the fiberglass Roadster cover. That's right, covered the back seat. It was still there. A Roadster is a 2-seat convertible. This car had a back seat, but if you put a fiberglass cover over it, Ford considered it a Roadster. Unfortunately, it is missing on this car, but that was the big key items that you got. The Sports Roadster was made for one more year in 1963 on the Bullet Birds, and only 455 were built, indicating the decline of the option. Now back to your regularly scheduled shenanigans. Duff's not here to open the hood, so I guess I'll do it myself. I bet these open backwards too, huh? Maybe? There's a latch up here. What's this do? There we go. Cool. It's got latches on both sides. So there it is, it's all pretty complete. Radiators in there, fans on it. We're missing the air cleaner. Looks like there's power brakes and a power steering car. That is definitely an FE with an auto light 4-barrel on it. Points ignition, all that good stuff. Looks like somebody left some blue shop towels in here, so we're gonna go ahead and clean those up. I'm not gonna do anything with the mouse poop that's on the intake. Also, the intake says C6AE, so this is a 66 intake manifold at least. Automatic transmission, of course. I don't believe you could get anything other than an automatic in these cars. The earlier 55 to 57s, I think you could get 3 and 4 speeds, but every car of these that I've seen, Bullet Birds anyway, were automatic transmissions. Is that auto light loose? Oh, that's a good sign. The carburetor's loose. Usually the engine's loose. One thing that worries me is there's a lot of paint on this engine, so that might mean it's a fresh overhaul, and fresh engines don't like to sit. A worn out, old, used up, sloppy, oil burning engine likes to sit for 50 years and they'll come back to life, but a nice, fresh, tight engine that's never been run, they don't like to sit. They stick a lot tighter. Obviously you got tighter tolerances, so we'll see what happens. Where is the dipstick? That's the transmission dipstick. Let's see if it's got some oil in it. Ah, there it is. Oh, AC lines. It was an AC car. Ew, I don't know what that is, but there's some sludgy gray stuff on there, and that's usually not what you want to see. But at least there's oil in it, I guess. It is pretty black, so I doubt it's a fresh engine that's never been fired. I'm guessing somebody just gave this truck engine an aerosol overhaul and slammed it right in there. Can't grab the fan and turn it over because it's got a clutch fan. I think we're going to go ahead and lift it up in the air, and we'll try to get on the crankshaft or the flex plate or the flywheel, what have you, and we'll try to get this thing turned over by hand before we hook a battery up to it. These FEs, Ford guys don't like you calling them a big block, but they are a big blocked engine, and there's not a lot of room to get the spark plugs out. But this one's actually seems like it's got a lot more room in there. I know they put these things in early Mustangs, and they were a real treat to get its spark plugs. Plus, I want to get a look at the bottom side of this baby, and we'll get it lifted up to working height and throw those bumpers on it so that they are out of my way, and the car looks a whole lot better when somebody goes to own this thing. That's right, we're going to sell this thing. I have zero desire to own this thing, so price and availability in the video description. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com if you want to own this thing. And we got a title for it, so it's ready for the road and ready for you to own. Here we go, got this thing up on the lift. Let's take a look at the bottom of this thing. I can already tell you it's a unibody car, or it's built like a unibody car, so she's pretty solid underneath. Obviously they painted the outside in red oxide primer, but they also painted a lot of stuff black, you know, resto things, but typical North Dakota farm car. Yeah, sent her off a few jumps. Oof, that one was real hard. I'm guessing this is the replacement engine because the oil pan ain't all schmucked up on that. It is a front sump. I don't know if trucks are rear or what's going on there. Maybe that's the right oil pan. Maybe they just swapped it from the other block. Oh, I'm so excited that we started working on this thing without you. Yeah? You ready to go for a sports roadster ride? Okay, okay. Show them what we got. Drum brakes, of course. I don't think discs was an option in 1962. Look at this giant flat stock that they got holding the crossmember to the unibody. She's pretty beefy. Even the steering idler arm pretty beefy. Dual exhaust. I'm guessing all these cars were dual exhaust because, you know, they were sports cars. This might be why the transmission crossmember's in there. They must have used a later transmission because this all looks quite homemade, and it's just screwed to the floor. And there's a stack of washers up there. Nothing but the finest. So 62 maybe had like a Ford-O-Matic or Cruise-O-Matic or something, and maybe this is a C6. Oh yeah, it's all aluminum, so I'm guessing it's a C6, so big upgrade there. Probably. I don't know. Ford guys say C6s are good. Couldn't tell you. Don't really have much experience. But you know it's done right because we got fine thread bolts with square nuts on it. Nothing like using a little 14 gauge and then welding her to some 3/16 steel. Oh yeah. That ain't going nowhere.
He's going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere.
I did notice we were moving around that the drive shaft was not hooked up, and that's probably why. I'm guessing it's the wrong length, so we need to probably shorten it up, maybe, I don't know. Tell you what, let's find out. Or maybe it's the wrong transmission altogether. For the drive shaft, anyway. Well, we won't worry about that guy. But yeah, there's no frame to this thing. It's got a whole bunch of unibody structure, and guess what? Everything is super solid. There's some undercoating there. Floors are freaking great. And that would be the lowest spot, so that's where they would be rotting out. Man, this thing is amazingly solid. Looks like we shoved the park brake cables through the seatbelt holes. That's why they were inside the car. The floor on the passenger side is amazing as well. Got our leaf spring mounts. They're only supported on one side. That's kind of interesting that they don't have some bracket up there, but I suppose how would you get the bolt out? Got ourselves a Ford 9-inch rear end, like pretty much all Ford cars after 1957. Oh, there's a tag on it. Is it a posi? Nope. One wheel peel. Shoot. Anyway, everything looks pretty good and complete back here. Fuel tank might even hold fuel. Who knows? Still got undercoating on it. Well, let's put a bar in that crankshaft, see what happens. Because I don't think we're gonna get anything on the flex plate back here. Ford doesn't give us any access to that. Another reason I think this transmission was added is because this bracketry does not look stock. Looks like a farmer built that shift linkage and kick down. All right, here we go. I don't know that we've ever got an FE running on the channel, so I don't have much faith. Oh! Oh, it turns. Heck yeah. C6 on the block, too, so she's a 66 block. Let's see if we can get a couple full revolutions out of it. That will mean that the valve train has went up and down once. If you just go one revolution on the crank, then half the valve train hasn't moved yet. And no, I didn't mark it, and I'm not counting. Oh, I even hear some compression. Perfect. Heck yeah, we'll take it. Tell you what, because that oil looks so terrible on the dipstick, let's go ahead and drain the engine oil. At least see if there's any water and coolant at the bottom of the oil pan. Well, no water coming out, so that's a plus. Drain plug also is not coming out. There we go. It's got the old coast to coast oil filter. Those were the days. Does coast to coast still exist? I feel like it doesn't, but I also feel like it does. PH1. Alright, we got a fresh Wix oil filter on there. We're ready to dump some oil in this thing. We don't even know if it's got a starter on it, much less if it turns it over, but we already gave it a fresh oil change because we got high hopes around here and low expectations. That doesn't make any sense, does it? It looks like everything's pretty complete in here. They didn't tension the belt. We are missing the coil. Obviously the air cleaner talked about it before. I unhooked the fuel line so that if it does pick up fuel from the tank, it's not going to pump it into the carburetor at least, but we'll have to figure that out. I checked the coolant. There's none in the reservoir up here. Ford's little silly expansion tank idea, what have you. Then I got to thinking about it being in gear and that drive shaft flopped around, so let's just go ahead and lift it up in the air and let's either take that drive shaft out, figure out what we got to do to get it slid into place so that we can keep the car from rolling, and also that drive shaft isn't flopping around underneath there if it does get bumped into gear, so let's do that. So clearly it's way too far out, but it doesn't really want to slide in, so I don't know what's going on there. It's also not rusty on there, so I feel like it was slid in there, but I'm just a dummy. Let's figure this out. Oh, we'll even gain a tarp strap back. We're probably going to need a U-joint, though. Here we go. Oh, that'll go. We got one cap. Well, I guess we'll put a U-joint in this thing. Let's see if it runs first, and then we'll worry about a U-joint. For now, drive shaft's coming out. All right, let's hook a battery in this thing, see if we can't get it turned over. We got our starter solenoid right there, so we don't even have to go to the ignition switch, which does have the keys in it. Blue is negative. Ooh, Scotch locks. Perfect. Just what you want to see on your generator wiring. And black is positive, right? Yep. Sounds good to me. No flames yet. Let's get the loser switch, see if we can't get it cranking over. Oh, our battery sponsor this week is The Gonz. I don't know if it's short for The Gonzo, but anyway, you too can be a battery sponsor at mortskerepair.com. I always forget which one it is. Hey! Alright, let's see what happens. Why is that getting so hot? That shouldn't be that hot. Should it? What if we try it on the other side? Yeah, nothing there. Is that connection just that bad? Or is our battery that low? Well, it would probably help if we clean the battery cables, let's be honest. What fun is that? We have to clean up our cables and look at all the greenness going on in there. You know, blue battery cables are fine. Green, not so much. Nice part about this one is it only goes from the battery to the starter cylinders right here to here, which is pretty affordable, so we can afford to replace that one without losing the shop. New battery cables installed. That's right, cables. I did the ground as well. Let's check her out, see how she cranks over. Nice and smooth, way faster. Now let's throw a coil on there and see if we can't get some spark from the points. I got this Motorcraft unit that says 12 volts and use with external resistor, which we definitely won't be doing. Who knows where that was supposed to mount? Maybe down there? Where's the wire coming off our distributor? Oh, I love how these Fords get these push to connect elbows. I don't know what you call them. I'm guessing this pink and black was originally for the ignition, but we're just gonna run a jumper wire. Oh boy, this definitely not gonna be long enough to reach. Barely. Sweet! Sweet! Now, let's see if we got some spark. Here goes nothing. Looks like we're gonna have to do the old Mortske flick. You can get your Mortske flick device magnetic screwdriver at mortske.com. I like to do the Mortske flick with the power to the coil. That way you know if it's working, because it zaps you. Ugh. Come on, rotor. Alright, points are closed, let's flick them. There we go. Let's see if we got spark now. Don't shock me, come on. 60% of the time it works every time.
60% of the time it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
You know, we've done hundreds of revivals, literally. And I don't think we've ever gotten into a 4-barrel Autolite. Good, bad, otherwise. I guess I don't have any appreciation or depreciation for them. I don't know much about them. That being said, let's just give it a tickle of the hot sauce, see if it lights up. Alrighty, where do we fill the float bowls at? I'm guessing it's these little breathers up here that I'm spilling all over on. Looks like it's got a accelerator pump on both bowls, so that's twice as many to leak, in case you were doing math. And I also did not save any gas, so let's see what happens. Here we goes, nothing. Slingshot engage.
Slingshot engaged.
Close. Come on, Ford starter, don't kick out so early. We're gonna need to do some Bendix work. Alright, we need more hot sauce. Let's trickle a little gas as we crank it over. Sounds healthy. I'll take it. We got a little valve train noise clattering, which is super common for engines that have sat a while. If it does it for an extended period of time, we'll take the valve covers off and prime the oil pump, whatever we got to do there. But this thing sounds good. Timing's spot on. It's not backfiring. Sounds like it's hitting on all 8. Maybe we'll even get that carburetor to come to life. But I think the next thing we got to do is, I don't know what we got to do. I'm thinking the fuel system. But it's sandwich time, so we'll get back to this later. But I'm excited. I'm going to shut her down today on a good one. I do love me a 390. I hope it's a 390. 352s are all right. Don't be a 360. I don't think they had 360s in 66. Pretty sure not. Back out here this morning, and this thing seems like it runs pretty good, so let's make it look good. First thing I'm going to do is put these bumpers on so I don't have to trip over them anymore. I also was eyeballing this piece of sheet metal that was laying in the car, and it looks like it's this piece right here. It's got that little hump that meets the quarter panels. I don't know if that was to cover something up, or that's off a hard top, or what. Who knows? Anyway, that's where it goes. Way better. I wish I had the headlights and the buckets and the taillights, but anyway, this stuff's out of the way. Honestly, I think if I was going to keep the car, I would not run that push bumper on there. Just kind of looks like a cattle guard. I'm sure guys take them off because, yeah, it's hideous. Check this back out here, though. Pretty good. Again, wish I had the taillights. Son of a biscuit. We'll just cut out some Folgers cans, bottoms, and put in there. That'll look just like a bullet. I just noticed this. Some of Duff's buddies put their paw prints all over this thing. I'm sure that's whose fecal matter's on the inside. Well, we should have checked inside the fuel tank before we put this bumper on. But let's stick the old analoscope down there and see just how that fuel tank looks. It's been sitting without a cap on it for a while, so that's not promising. Somebody got a little aggressive with the trunk opening, it looks like. Alright, there we go. It's awful dark in there. Well, it smells like bad gas already. And I can't keep the end of the schlong clean to see in there because there's so much stuff that immediately gets plugged up and goes black. So that's not looking good. We're just going to say that that tank needs replaced. At a minimum, cleaned. Boat tank it is. Oh, it's putrid as well. We got a new precision 355 joint stuck in there, which is a cross between a 354 and a 534. So it's a combination, or a bastard joint as I call them. So I always thought it was weird that they would use a bastard joint from the factory, like just put the right yoke or end on the drive shaft so you can just use a regular 369 or 331 or 354. But no, good news is we had a 355 on the shelf. Bad news is Precision used to be made in America. For the longest time they've been made in Mexico. These new boxes, China. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna be using Chinese U-joints the rest of my life because I refuse to use spicers because I know all the part numbers for the Precisions. But anyway, let's get this drive shaft slid in there so that we're not puking transmission fluid out, and we also got a way to keep the car from rolling away on us when we kick it outside and doesn't run and park it on a hill. Anyway, drive shaft going in. Now I got to thinking this drive shaft wasn't fully installed. Maybe there's a reason it wasn't installed. I guess we're gonna find out. Oh, that goes all the way in. We should be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this rear diff yoke. Get all this grease out of there. Otherwise, when we go to tighten up our hardware, it might not hold it in place. Well, it'll hold it in place, and then this grease will eventually work out of there, and then your hardware comes loose and your drive shaft flies out. And if you've ever had a drive shaft fly out from underneath your car, it's not a fun experience. And believe me, you'll know it when it happens. Not much diagnosing there. Alright, here we go. Perfect. I always like to use electrical tape to hold my caps on my universal joint until we get them installed. Because there's nothing like replacing needles in a fresh universal joint. Alright, we just gotta tighten up this hardware and the drive shaft install is complete. We're gonna go open up this fuel filter that's rattling that Mojo found. Maybe it's got a check valve in it. So I was underneath unhooking the fuel hoses going to the fuel pump so that we can hook up an external fuel tank, and yeah, some nasty gas came out. But speaking of nasty, check out this low radiator hose. Our little rodent friends have chewed the tasty rubber exterior coating off of almost the entire low radiator hose. It must have been a long, cold winter. Probably gonna want to replace that at some point. It's that hard chocolate outer shell that'll get you. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
The milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Get M&M's.
Duff hooked up all the fuel lines for the auxiliary tank. Let's hook up a Milwaukee 12-volt battery and see where the leaks are at. I'm sure that auto lights and my connections and the fuel pump are all just fine. Here we go. Come on, get fuel. Oh, it helped we had the line hooked up. We'll wait till fuel bursts out before we hook it up. Is it not going through our mechanical fuel pump? Maybe the tank needs to be higher. Maybe the tank is empty. Maybe our fuel pump isn't working. Let's put some fuel in our tank. Definitely cannot hurt for the situation. As much as I love these 6-gallon Greta unapproved fuel jugs, I think I like this pump from Amazon even more. Link in the video description. Yes, I get a very small cut from Amazon. It's like enough for 2 cases of beer a month. So thank you for supporting my sandwich. It's not an addiction. Affection? Affliction? No, that's the too tightest shirts middle-aged males wear. Anyway, link in the video description. So it just goes towards more Amazon stuff, and you can't buy sandwiches on Amazon. Well, there's probably a way you can. These pumps, real good. Better than the jugs. That's really the downfall of the jugs, is not having a pump. So if you get the jug, link in the video description, and the pump, link in the video description, together, it's like peas and carrots. Like mac and cheese, frank and beans, baseball and American pie, bias plies and steelies, like Krager's and white letters, side pipes and mullets, like jean jackets and Marlboro Reds, like Monster energy drinks and guys named Kyle, like donuts and coffee, like bacon and eggs. Did we say peanut butter and jelly? Comment down below your whatever needs to go together, like old Fords and Chevy motors, like moths to a flame, like sparks and gasoline. And there we go. Now where's the leak gonna be? It's quieting down. Oh, we're getting fuel up there. Perfect. There's the one leak. Oh, stop. Oh, that's a terrible hose clamp. It's filling the carburetor. Good grief, I don't even see any leaks around the old auto light. What a deal. We're gonna need a new hose clamp for that though. Oh, it's coming around from the perimeter of the clickety-clack fuel pump, it appears. Maybe? I'll snug it up just in case. And if that don't fix it, it's trash time. Junk. There should be no sparks over there. Hey, look at these spiral nails that were holding that roof onto this thing when we tore it apart. And lead washer shanks to seal. Old school cool stuff. They don't make them like that anymore. Well, they probably do. Lead paint chips, my favorite. Just kidding, I like all paint chips equally. Here we go. Oh, frick, I need a longer coil wire. Hold the phone. We got a fresh, used clickety-clack on there. We got ourselves a longer jump wire. Mounted up our coil. See if this baby will start.
Burns like a kitten.
vacuum line up here I'm going to need to plug. Starter Bendix is still unhappy.
Idle's all right, but she needs a tune-up real bad, or some timing adjusting or something. Distributor's tight.
Thought I could feel a vibration. Sure enough, we're going Mach 9 back here. Guess the speedo's not working. It's probably because the shifter is in gear. Guess I should have checked to see if it was in park, but luckily I lifted it up in the air, fully expecting this. Idle's pretty good, but I think we got to do some cleaning on the old auto light, or maybe throw something different on it. Check out this throttle linkage. It looks like they took the regular, I don't know, about a 1/4 inch throttle rod, and then they slid it inside of like a 3/8 fuel line, and then pinched it shut on it to use as a sleeve. Brilliant.
Brilliant!
I'm sure you'll never mash that and either end will slide out. It's fine. Also needs a pin in it. I don't know what that is, but it's probably important. Kick down, just hanging on for dear life. But the transmission works, so that's a plus. Let's just go ahead and put that in park. Hopefully it's adjusted. Let's try it again and see if it's actually in park. Fire's ready up. Driver wheel isn't burning. Let's take a look at the passenger. That's what you like to see when it's in park. That way it doesn't drive through the Shop F1 or Monte Carlo or the Wildfire lift. Or Mojo back there. Working on AC on the Cup like Cadillac. Well, we know it drives forward, Duff. Should we test reverse out? May as well. Well, that's not good, but I also didn't check the transmission. There should be a park. There's the detent in reverse. This one ain't turning. Nor is the passenger side. I guess we'll have to check the transmission fluid, or we'll just have to drive forward. Sure enough, the transmission's not on the dipstick. Also, we don't know if there's coolant in it, so let's go ahead and top both of those off. And then we'll warm her up and see where we're at. Nothing but the finest used green coolant around here. Anybody check to see if the petcock was tight? I didn't. Sure enough, we got a leak. Oh, no way, not through the radiator hose that's chewed through. Good news is, it's not the lower radiator hose. Bad news is, we gotta take the lower radiator hose off to replace the water pump. So while it looks like it's running down the radiator hose, I thought, oh, maybe it's the connection. Just kidding, it's coming out the water pump weep hole. But at least we know it's got coolant in it all the way up to the center of the water pump where it's leaking out the weep hole. And it's barely a drip. We'll be fine. Hey, now we're talking. This one must spin easier than the other one. There we go. Getting a little heat into her. A little steam coming out the overflow there, but yeah, training's working. See if we can't get some brakes. It's got this single reservoir master cylinder. Let's pop that off and see if we can find a dual reservoir that pops on there. Got the lid off the single reservoir master cylinder here. Doesn't look too bad, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up a little bit with a vacuum cleaner and then go hit the brake pedal, and if it moves, we might just try to get this thing to come back to life. I've definitely seen a lot worse. Well, let's see if the brake pedal's stuck. Do the keys work? We haven't been using them. Nope. But if we put it in park, how about now? Get some dash lights though. All right, back to the task at hand. Brakes. Nope. Oh, are you kidding me? It does have the swing away column. Gross. We interrupt your regular scheduled shenanigans to bring you this Mortske Minute. This Mortske Minute is on the swing away steering column option from Ford from 1961 through 1966. It was discontinued in 1967 because it no longer met safety standards for the 1967 model year. From 1961 through 1966, it was standard on Thunderbirds, but it was also an option on other full-size Ford cars as well. Now, what is the swing away option? You could swing the steering wheel 18 inches to the right to allow easier entry and exit from the car, but only when the transmission shifter was in the park position, and it was only available on automatic transmission cars. There you go, everything you didn't want to know about the swing away steering column option for the 1962 Ford Thunderbird. Now back to your regular scheduled shenanigans. Oh, she's seized. Unless it's all the way down. No, it ain't going nowhere. Well, what else is holding it? Nothing. There you go. One stock master cylinder removed. Hopefully we got enough room between this cross brace firewall support thinger to get a dual reservoir, because I don't have one of these laying around, and everybody likes dual reservoirs over single reservoirs. Unless you're the 100-point Pebble Beach guy, which I am not. The interesting thing about this one is they got this adapter fitting in the end, so it's got 3 ports coming out, one for the left brake, one for the right, and one for the rears. So we'll have to figure out which is which and how to plumb that. And it's also got the brake light switch mounted right on it, so we're not going to have brake lights. But we don't even have any brake lights anyway. The buckets are there, we got no lenses, so we won't worry about that. That's the next guy's problem. Well, working back here, I also determined we got another vacuum leak. Go ahead and plug that off. So here's what I come up with. This is the original master cylinder, which is a 7/8 bore. So that's usually what I try to match. So we try to stay with 7/8 bore, go to a dual reservoir. But the only dual reservoir that I got that was a 7/8 bore, the depth for the rod was entirely different. This rod, check out this neat little tool. I'll definitely forget to put the link in the video description, but you go ahead and push this rod in there, and that tells you how far it's got to go. So that rod sticks out that far past that mating surface, which is a long ways in master cylinder terms. Closest thing I could find was this 1967 Cougar setup, but it's a 1-inch master. There is a little bit of adjustment on that rod on the car, so we'll adjust that in, because you don't want pressure on it, because then your brakes will slowly apply when you're not applying brakes. So we'll back that rod off by using this adjusting tool, put that up against the brake booster or the firewall if you don't have boosted brakes, and we'll adjust that to the depth that we need it to be for this Cougar master cylinder, which is a dual reservoir. And that car should have been a drum brake car as well, so we shouldn't have any issues there. We are going to have to make some different adapter fittings, because these are different sizes. Well, they're the same size as each other, but not the same size as what we got. So we'll figure out something there. We'll probably have to make some adapter hoses. We're not going to run a proportioning valve. I had good luck not running them. So anyway, that's what we got. Good thing we saved the parts from that rusty Cougar that's no longer around here. And that's what you don't want to see. Rust in the inner fenders, because these are a unibody car. And so that's structure right there. Let's get the push rod adjusted. Let's get that on there. Let's get some lines made, and hopefully we can get some brakes working. You can see that little tiny adjustment screw on the end of the push rod. We're going to go ahead and adjust that into where it's got to be, and then our master cylinder will be ready to bolt on. And we're going to use this handy dandy tool to adjust it. I don't know how I lived without this tool. This is one of those tools that once you have it, you're like, dang. But then again, I do a lot of weird things with master cylinders. Not weird things. I just am dealing with master cylinders all the time, and it's not the same master cylinder that come off of there. And even if you were to put the same master cylinder on this car, the depth might be different between the one that was on this car and the new one you're buying. So one of these is handy for adjusting that set screw. So yeah, get one of these for your toolbox if you do much work with master cylinders. And also if you got issues with brakes, you know, on a car that somebody else built or you just put together, this thing's a great tool for checking it out to make sure that you got it adjusted properly. Because if you got brake drag, you don't have it adjusted right. If you got too much pedal play, it could be because you don't have it adjusted right. So, great tool. Can't say enough. Not a paid promotion. Amazon's got them. Again, probably not a link in the video description, but I'll try to remind myself. Channel definitely not remind me. Master cylinder is in. I just put a T down there, tie the left and the right front brakes together, and then the other end of the T goes to this rear reservoir. Made up a new line for that, and then I just put an adapter fitting right there for the rear brakes. The line is long enough. Unfortunately, our support brace here is no longer going to be in use because the master cylinder's in the way. We don't need that where we're going anyway. Now let's lift this thing up in the air and take a look at the wheel cylinders and wheel bearings and shoes and all that good stuff. See if we can just dump some brake fluid in and bleed them, or if we got to rebuild the wheel cylinders, or pack some wheel bearings, or who knows, maybe it doesn't even have brake drums or shoes or any of that. Let's check it out. Well, the old Timkins look like they're full of grease, so that's a good sign. Well, they're certainly adjusted up. Well, looks like somebody's been in here, and it looks like it's got brand new shoes in there, so that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and pop this apart, see what the inside of the wheel cylinders look like. Maybe loosen up our adjuster if it's not already. See what we got going on. Maybe even blow some crap off it first. Alright, please be no Hoover Schneef back there. Well, it's not all full of white dust, but it's definitely a little rusty. Probably clean them up. I think they were new and they put them in there and never got run. Oh, these are a sweet wheel cylinder to remove. You can't even get at the bolt on the backside holding it in there without pulling the entire backing plate off. Oh, Ford, you and your silliness. Can't really show you, but this bolt you can get at, this bolt is directly behind the spindle, so you can't get that out without taking the entire backing plate off. So we gotta take these 4 bolts out, pull the backing plate off, and then we can get at our wheel cylinder. But yeah, brand new brake shoes. Pretty sure this is a new wheel cylinder. We'll show you once we get it taken apart, but it's got nice blue anodized pistons in it. But speaking of Ford silliness, look at this bump stop and this stamp plate hanging way down. The control arms look like they're upside down, and then they got a bolt going through it, and then they got the spring and shock assembly all on the top side. I'm used to GMs and everything else where the spring's on the bottom side, but yeah, interesting stuff. Definitely weren't thinking when they put that bolt right behind the spindle. All right, we're this far. Let's get her cleaned up. We also gotta loosen up that guy because she's seized as well. But I do believe it had new brakes on it when they were working on it. They just never got it going. That being said, hopefully they clean up. And there she is, backing plates removed. A wheel cylinder pulled off there. You can see that nice blue anodized piston in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this apart, hone it out, and see how the cups look. Maybe we can reuse those. Everything looked pretty good inside the wheel cylinder. The old cups are nice and supple. I don't think these things have ever been run or seen any brake fluid. A little brake fluid came out of there, but yeah, they're not all corroded, they're not worn. They didn't clean up the greatest, but that's what we got, so it's gonna work. Ran the hone through them. Let's see what happens. Got her all back together, huh, Duff? Yeah, rebuilt wheel cylinder and a rebuilt adjuster, freshly lubed up with some anti-sneeze. This thing should be good to go. Well, we'll maybe adjust it and pack the wheel bearings, but everything should be G2G. Then we just got one more to do and then go to the rear. Tech tip of the day: if your 62 Thunderbird brake hoses are all brittle and plugged up and crappy, grab a set off of a 65 F100. They're a little bit longer, but they got the same ends, and they'll work. The more you know. It really pays off to buy duplicates of the cheap parts on Rock Auto so that when you got to do something, you got parts for it. So, yay for living in podunk. Front brakes are done. Rebuilt wheel cylinders, some new brake hoses. All the bearings look good, seals look good. The drums look absolutely phenomenal. Let's go ahead and move on to the rear. Do the same thing back here, but we only got one brake hose instead of two. And check this out. This brake drum has never been removed. Still got the clip around the stud. So, these are original brakes. I'm guessing no new wheel cylinders in there. Also looks like we're going to be putting a little heat on the brake drum around the axle to try to get that freed up. No big deal. First things first, we need to get them clips popped out of the way. Somebody told me a really cool trick was it hitting it with a chisel. I can't remember what it was. Comment down below what your trick is for getting these clips off there. You said you just take a chisel and put it up against it, hit it, and it breaks it. I'm too lazy to walk back to the toolbox and grab a chisel though. Alright, we're chiseling it. Super sharp Mayhew chisel. Maybe you need a dull chisel. Maybe I hit it in the wrong spot. Maybe you aren't supposed to hit it. Maybe it's a myth. Maybe it's Maybelline. Phew, got it. Yeah, we're definitely need to heat that up because the drum and the axle have become one. A little heat goes a long way, as all we're doing is just heating that rust up that's formed between the brake drum and the end of the axle shaft. Our brake shoe surface of our drum looks phenomenal, however. Brake shoes still look great. This thing must be pretty low mileage. It looks like our cable for our adjuster has seen better days, but it's got one strand left. Maybe we can get her hooked back up. But anyway, let's pull the wheel cylinder out. He's ready to go. This brake seal here had a little tear in it, so we threw a new pair of 7/8 inch wheel cylinder seals in, and we're going to throw her back together. Hopefully it's better than it was before. Obviously this was the original, seeing how it still had the clips on the drum. We're going to give you a tech tip from Mojo. I don't know if it works. He claims it does, and he knows pretty much everything. Just ask him. So anyway, this is your adjuster. These things are always stuck. Usually you clamp them in the vise and you put a blocking pliers on that star wheel and try to spin it around. He claims you just put it on your vise and you just tap around the perimeter a few times and it'll come right loose. So I'm all for new things. And usually that's what I did on the front, was resorted to heating these things up, and that's what gets them loose. But he claims just a few tap
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
Be sure I'd tap that decal at mortske.com. I don't know if I'm doing it right. He's not here to supervise. He's out screwing around in the yard. It is wiggling. We'll see. Sure enough, your tech tip of the day by Mojo. Just go ahead and tap around the perimeter of that bad boy and it'll loosen it right up. See all that rust in there that it knocked loose. Old Mojo. He's a wise young man. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up on the wire wheel. Throw some anti-sneeze on there. That way we don't have to use the Mojo trick ever again. Huh, it's pretty neat. Your tech tip of the day brought to you by Mojo Craft. Get your Mojo Craft pocket t-shirt, banners, screwdrivers, everything at mortske.com. Support the Mojo Craft. Driver's side's all back together, no issues there, but we got over to the passenger side, and guess what? We got issues. Nothing major, but the brake line is kinked off at the fitting, so we're gonna have to make a new brake line. God dang it. I'm pretty proficient at making brake lines, but I'm not the person who makes all new brake lines on a car. I like reusing old brake lines. Call me an idiot, but usually them steel lines, they clean up pretty good, and they work good, and the bends and fit and finish are usually way better than anything that I make. Anyway, we're gonna make a new passenger side rear brake line when we're there. And we'll probably throw a brake hose on there if we can find something that's similar, which should be pretty easy on the rear. So here we go. Just want to give you an update on how brakes are going. Brake time's over. We moved over to the passenger side and somebody has been here. You know how I can tell? No, not because the clips are missing off the brake drum, which they were, but because the short shoe is on the back. Anyway, it needs new shoes, so we're just gonna leave it. I don't think anybody's died because the short shoe is supposed to be up front and they flipped them around. I've seen this quite a few times, but anyway, I double checked on the other side that had never been opened up, and that one has the long shoe back here. So early Fords, they actually have them backwards like this, but the more you know. Interesting. So I'm just gonna go under here and replace that brake line that I talked about before and put a new brake hose on it, but check this out. The differential breather tube has a crimp on end and then it's plumbed into the frame rail up here. Now usually it's just a pipe thread fitting that goes to a barb or something that's integrated into the brake hose, but this is an actual crimped on, it's almost like a hydraulic hose for a breather hose. That's pretty neat.
How neat is that?
And it's actually got a crimped on end on that end, and then it goes into the frame rail. Speaking of the rear diff, check this tag out. This is the largest diff tag known to man. It's got 300 gears, not surprising. Then it's got all this other information on there. It's not a posi. C2SA means it's a 62 model, so C is 6, 2 is 2, so 62. But I just want to show you guys that tag. I cleaned her up for you. That thing is freaking ginormous. Usually it's about half the width of that and about half the length, so quarter the size. I always leave these on there. And the same deal with carburetors. I don't know why people got to take those off. Leave them on there. It's cool. It's not hurting anything. And you can reference. I wonder if they make reproductions of these so I could stamp my own and put my own gear ratio on my own projects. Or I suppose I could make my own. That'd be pretty neat. That way I know what ratio I got in these cars. All right, back to making a brake line and putting a brake hose on. Look at this cute rear brake hose. Never seen one with a metal tab like that before. Well, I probably have, but I can't recall. Anyway, we need a brake hose with a T. Good thing I got a brake hose from a 72 Ford F100 that's got a T. It's a little bit different, but we'll make it work. The length is about spot on. Thanks a lot, Ford. Fresh F100 brake hose, fresh right rear brake line. You know what that means. Time to crack some bleeders and hopefully this thing gravity bleeds. It never happens, but you can always have hope. All right, what fun is a convertible to have the top up, especially when the top is basically non-existent. So let's see if we can't get the top down and into the trunk. But before we do that, let's go ahead and clean out the trunk to get all the debris out of there, because then we won't have a top in there to deal with. But check this out first. I'm sure I showed you guys all this wiring and connectors and solenoids and pumps and hydraulic cylinders, but yeah, that's probably why this is off. And there's wires hanging loose, and there's solenoids hanging loose. This is the crown jewel right here. This is a hydraulic hose that must have been leaking, so I took a piece of metal and bent over it and drilled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes and put screws through it with square nuts. Well, a couple don't have nuts, a couple have square nuts, one has a hex nut, but anyway, that's how they were trying to seal that hose up, apparently, by just clamping around it. And you can see that was probably one of the last things they were working on, because everything's hanging loose. So I don't have much faith that this top is going to go up or down automatically. If all else fails, we'll just hook the skid steer on and tip it up. It'll look so much cooler being down. First we got to get her cleaned up. guessing since the switch is just laying here, they were having some issues. Key on, maybe? No. Well, I'm guessing we gotta unhook these. I would imagine these are called convertible top latches. Alright. Now what's gotta happen? So there's some great big hydraulic cylinders on here that raise it up and down. There's the base end of the cylinder, and there is a pile of relays and solenoid and wiring. And this is all cast. I can't tell if it's cast steel or aluminum. I'm guessing aluminum. So there's one piece there, second one there, third one, and a fourth one. And so it pivots there, there, and there. Yeah, this should be great. Don't want to go, does it? Why don't we try lifting right here first? There! Wonder if I unhook those hydraulic hoses. These ones we got to go up and down by just putting them, or pop the pins out of the cylinder. Alright, now let's try. Go to your home.
Go home! That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
I think it went pretty well, actually.
Yeah. No complaints.
I was figuring that was going to be a battle. Oh, wait, do you want to put that panel on?
Wonder if nobody can go down with that thing. Yeah, we got to move on.
Just on those shafts in the back.
It seemed like it went down. See if we can get this way back. Sorry, Ford Pierce. They're mostly color coded. The problem is there's 9 wires and they only had 3 different colors of wire available, so that might be fun for someone to figure out. Rate availability in the video description. Now will it shut?
That's on the screen.
I think that's the shortest it's ever been since we got it. Yeah, those would turn. Probably getting close enough. Doing the play. Now, if the interior was as clean as the trunk, that'd be great. Oh, let's see if we got brakes. Or something that feels like brakes. Oh, yeah. That's gonna be real nice.
Really nice.
Extra starter solenoid? Some random knob or something? Oh, I wish this thing was cleaned out. Oh, you've got poop up here. It's kind of hard. Well, the passenger seat's not bolted down, and the driver's seat's held on by 2 square bolts. So let's go ahead and take those out there. That'll make cleaning the inside out a whole lot easier. Oh, yes. Oh, it's the Thunderbird. We're missing the... It's got a lisp. Yeah, there's another one of them brackets that we found earlier. Looks important. I think we caught it in time there. A little pitted up in the front part there, but there's no pinholes. This thing was a really nice car. I think the roof went down 2 years ago. So it's been sitting here for 2 years with no roof, and then all that foam sitting in there, but cleaned up pretty dang nice. This thing is super solid. I would say scuff them and shoot them, and those floors will be good to go. Now we got to do the other side. There is carpet on that side. There wasn't any over here, so hopefully that didn't hold any moisture. There we go. I think the passenger side looks even better than the driver's side. I'm lucky here what we found. The other Thunderbird emblem. Now if we only had all the trim and the back seat and everything else that's missing, taillights, headlights, buckets. So I think what I'm gonna do is throw this passenger seat in the driver's side because it's in significantly better shape. The coons didn't make a nest out of that one. And then we'll just throw that one in the back for now because Duff's not gonna wanna sit on that. And I don't wanna sit on it either. Remember how I said the Sport Roadsters came factory with Kelsey Hayes wire wheels? Well, Kelsey Hayes and Ford have been together for a long time. They were putting wire wheels on Fords way back in 1935, but check this out. I'd love to find a set of wire wheels just to put on this thing. I've got some appliance wire wheels laying in the wheel rack out back, but they're 4 3/4. But anyway, these are actual Kelsey Hayes wheels that are on this car right now. Let me show you. You can always tell a Kelsey Hayes component by the KH on there. They liked branding their stuff, and I don't blame them. They made good wheels. All right, I can't stand this trunk lid being half popped up, and I'm afraid of the wind catching it. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the wires. That's right, disconnect them properly, not cut them like I did earlier. Sorry, Ford Pierce. And try to tap into the motor that's got those screw jack thingers and try to latch it into place, because that's what we do when we don't know what we're doing. All we gotta do is line that up with that, and then those screw into place. And that little motor runs these speedometer cables, which runs those screws. And there's 3 wires there, so I figure one's gotta be power, one's gotta be ground, and then you just reverse them. Don't ask me what the third one's for, but we're gonna figure it out. It's all just power and ground, right? User switch. That's right, it's a multi-function switch. It's a convertible latch switch. Front latch switch. Hey! It's going the wrong way. So if I just flip this polarity, let's flip them around up here on our jumper pack. Red goes to black, yellow goes to red. I'm gonna go backwards. Still goes the same way. So we're gonna leave that as ground and hook this up to the yellow, the red to the yellow. The red to the yellow and the red to the yellow. Makes sense, right? So the ground is always ground, and the power just changes side. Sweet! Now we just gotta get those lined up. Screw her into place. Spicy lemon squeeze, okay? One would think. But it's not that easy. Probably because something's bent. Oh, this side's catching. Come on, loser switch. Except they gotta be timed. That side's in.
It's in.
Not this side though. Now we gotta back it up. Start over. Did it latch? Good enough. Good enough? Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Alright, let's put the crown jewel on here. Oh yeah. Now she's looking like a Roadster. Looky here what we found in our hubcap stash. These are 57 to 59 Ford Galaxies. And this is not a 57 to 59 Ford Galaxy. It is a Ford though, so we're gonna go ahead and put them on there. You know why, Duff? Because they fit. Here we go. Running through the dishwasher before we put them on there. Definitely not polishing them. Oh yeah. Real nice. Do you approve? Yes. So nice. Now I need to paint this thing white. Or black like it was. Man, this is a sharp car. Black, white interior. It was white before you got a hold of it. You're the reason we can't have anything nice. Now that we got the hubcaps on, next thing I want to move the fuel tank inside the car, so I don't have to strap it to the grill or the windshield or the hood or to take the hood off. So I'm gonna do the right thing. There's already a hole in the floor, and just run the fuel line through that and then cut the existing fuel line and tap into that, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, guess what? This sucker's still got some varnished fuel in it. The good thing is, it's not flammable. Well, I didn't blow up anyway. So, we're gonna run the fuel line through that, and then hook up to that. Once we get that cut all the way, and then we're gonna blow it out, hook it up there at the fuel pump. Bada bing, bada boom. Fuel system complete. Ever told you how much I love the smell of varnished gas? Sarcasm, because I don't. Nobody does. Maybe somebody out there is like, old gas. Probably not. All right, let's see if it's flammable. It can't be, can it? It's not. What's that? Good old gas. It lasts forever. Okay, Ralph. There, now everything in the engine bay will stink too. Check this out. Fuel tank in the back seat. It's a Roadster. You don't need a back seat. You got her wired into our power seat wiring. Unfortunately, that is battery power, not key power. I can't get it to crank over by the key, but it will run off the key. Must have been why they had the starter solenoid in there, because starter problems. And I tried the neutral safety switch. That doesn't work. Also, make sure you got these things idling with the column swung over, because they're pretty notorious for jumping into reverse or gear and running into things when you got them swung over. Yes, it is a thing. Now I'm going to top off the power steering fluid, see if we can't get that working. Remote reservoirs are kind of common on big block Chevys, but I've never messed with one of these on a Ford, so let's give her a whirl. I know it's not a Mercury, but we'll give it a little deck smirk. Oh yeah, you like it. Oh, frothy. It's the Ford guy himself. What a guy, old Billy brought us over an Edelbrock carburetor and some Chilton's manuals, Haynes manuals for Buick, Skylark. Anyway, things. Power steering's working great. I think this thing's about ready to go for a ripski here. DB, how come you didn't pay for the full haircut? Waterfall not included. The Tennessee top hat, Camaro cut, Mississippi mud flap, the achy breaky big mistakey, hockey hair. You got any more that I missed? Yep, nope. The schlong, the short long.
Gotta have something nice for Dirt Reynolds driving.
Aren't you taking your senior pictures? Oh, you think you're gonna take Dirt Reynolds too?
Maybe.
How about a Thunderbird? It's basically a Cougar without a top. All right, it's like 45 degrees this morning. It's chilly. There's frost in the area. We fired up the furnace this morning. Anyway, great day to go for a convertible ride. So check the diff, topped it off. It was pretty low. We definitely don't want to cook our 3.0 gear 9-inch, so we got that all topped off. I don't know if I showed you guys, but check this hood latch out. The cable is busted and will hook up here, so I'm glad we don't have headlights for that. But it's got a latch there, and a latch there, and then a safety latch here. This thing's stout. And then the hood hinges are actually inboard. They're not way outside. I don't know. Kind of neat. Usually, even on unibodies, they're way out to the outside of the fender. She's tight under there. And this is the hooks for the old colostomy bag. I'm guessing this is a vacuum canister of sorts. Anyway, got to get access to the loser switch to get it started, but let's go for a test drive. Also, Duff said he's sitting this one out. We got some activity in the yard, so he's hanging out with those guys, and it's cold out, and there's no seat for him to sit on, so let's do this. Well, she'll do a burnout. The brakes are pretty good though, so it's hard to get through those, the old 390s. Got just enough torque to do it. Steering is great, the brakes are good. I like the seating position. This thing's pretty good. Oh yeah, swing that out of the way so that it doesn't jump into reverse and go through the door and get another dent in our door and lose the shop. We even got a little rubber back here, Duff. Didn't leave much of a patch. Oh, sure it did. Look at that, Duff. Burnt rubber from the old Douglas. We're gonna have to touch up the old white walls. Facebook Marketplace score. Long story behind those, actually short story, but anyway, you can paint your own white walls on. I didn't do it. Are you gonna come with or are you gonna stay here? All right, let's go grab the GoPro and go for an RIDE. Well, we're gonna throw a little coolant in there because that water pump hasn't fixed itself, has it, Duff? Yeah, we don't want to overheat on this 40-degree day. Well, it runs out almost as fast as you put it in there, but Duff knows better than to drink it. So I guess we're just gonna wing it. Sure, 390s love heat. Nobody local's got a water pump, so and I don't know if it's a factory 62 water pump or if it's off the 68 whatever engine. So, and of course they're different. We interrupt your regular scheduled shenanigans to bring you this Mortske Minute. This Mortske Minute is on the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird was developed in 1953 and originally called the Vega. So where does the name Thunderbird come from? It came after a supernatural bird of power and strength. Now you know. Ford Thunderbirds, also known as the T-Bird, were built from 1955 through 2005, building 4.4 million units. The first generation, also known as the Baby Bird, was built from 1955 through 1957. The original design was a two-seat Roadster, which was also available with a fiberglass removable hardtop. You could get these with only the 292 cubic inch Y-block V8 in 1955 and a 3-speed manual transmission or a 3-speed Ford-O-Matic automatic transmission. In 1956, they added the option for the 312 Y-block V8. So the Corvette was released in 1953 and the Thunderbird was developed to not exactly compete with it, but it was actually competing with it. And they outsold them 23-1. That's right, they sold just over 16,000 units in 1955 to a mere 700 Corvettes built in 1955. For the 1956 model year, they went from 6 volts to 12 volts, and they also added portholes to the removable fiberglass hardtop. 1957 saw the addition of the E-Code, which came with 2 4-barrel Holley carburetors. Also, the F-Code, you could get a 300 horsepower 312 with a Paxton supercharger. Now, after the first generation, also known as the Baby Birds, came the second generation from 1958 through 1960, which are affectionately known as the Square Birds. In 1958, they added a rear seat and created their own market. That's right, the personal luxury car. Now with this additional seating, sales skyrocketed for 1958 through 1960. Also available in 1958 was the FE 352 cubic inch engine, which was an improvement over the Y-block. The 352 is rated at 300 horsepower and still available with the automatic or manual transmission. Also in 1958, they went from a body-on chassis to a unibody design, and along with the rear seating, these were 800 pounds heavier than the previously designed Baby Birds. In 1959, you could get a 350 horsepower, 430 cubic inch MEL V8. And in 1960, they added the option for a manually operated moonroof. And in 1961, the third generation came along, also known as the Bullet Bird, which was a complete redesign. It was still a unibody design, but new for 1961 was the 390 cubic inch V8 FE. The 390 rated at 300 horsepower was the 1961 Indy Pace Car. It was also John F. Kennedy Jr.'s inaugural parade car and was also made famous by the TV show Sunset Strip. New for 1962 was the addition of the vinyl roof option and the Sports Roadster. Also available in 1962 was the 340 horsepower Tri-Power Holley 390. There you go, everything you wanted to know about the first 3 generations of the Ford Thunderbird. Now back to your regularly scheduled shenanigans. Top-notch glass cleaning service. at your service.
$1.
Where's your cardboard sign? You ever feel like you're being watched? All the time. Why are you breathing heavy?
Oh yeah, get that.
Chin's hot. I love when Chin gets in there nice and deep.
That's it, boy. Get in there nice and deep like.
So I guess you are coming with, or not? Make up your mind. You're like a woman, okay? I guess not. Who are the girls that drove that? Was it in a T-Bird? They drove off a cliff? Thelma and Louise.
This is it.
Slingshot, engage. Bendix, broken. Oh, it's in gear! Duff said he's gonna stay here and supervise, so here we go. What's that light on the left? Is that oil? Oh, it went out. We're good. I haven't changed oil on this thing. Swing away, engage. I'm gonna honk the horn when I blow it off the cliff. It's a Roadster though. I don't like convertibles, but I do like Roadsters. It's a speedster, one-seater. I might need a stocking cap. Does it shift? Oh, we're really doing it, Harry.
We're really doing it though, aren't we, buddy?
I got no rear view mirrors. Whatever happens back there is in the past. I also got no mufflers. And it looks like rain. It drives so nice though. Steering is so good. I did notice a little bit of a power steering leak. Or it's ATF, one or the other. But there's some blood red on the concrete. Whoa! Pulls to the right. Who adjusted those brakes? So here's the deal. If I was to keep this thing, which I'm not, price and availability in the video description. We're selling this thing cheap. Got a clear title for it. If I were to keep it, there's a parts car on Facebook Marketplace in the Minneapolis area. It's a convertible. It's wrecked in the left front. They sold the motor and transmission, which should be good on this car, maybe, who knows. But anyway, it's got torqueless, they're polished. It should have a good fuel system and exhaust system. Should have all the trim. He's asking $1,000, or he was when the engine was in it, so I would imagine you'd get it for less. And then you'd have most of the parts to put this together. His interior, it says it's roached or rough or something, but it's better than what we got. Do that. Give this thing a quick rattle bomb job. Just drive it, fix the little stuff, throw some new brakes on it. Well, like I said, hopefully that car's got a good fuel system and exhaust. It's probably got okay brakes, it's got wheels and tires, but I would just buy new brakes. Obviously put a water pump in it. This thing should be good. It drives pretty nice. It's tight, but I couldn't get the seat to slide back, and I also didn't really try, so there's that. But I think just a rattle can spray bomb job, it'd be cool to be black and white again, but paint it whatever color you want, maybe like a turquoise green, pretty much anything but red. Maybe lower it just a little bit. It's got a really good stance. It rides pretty nice. I wouldn't even mess with the convertible top. This thing is a full-time Roadster. There is just, for me, way too much complexity in that top. And if you've got a convertible, in my opinion, you just drive it with the top down all the time. It's like, I don't know. All my Roadsters, they don't have tops because if I need the top up, I'm going to take something with the top. But anyway, yeah, speedometer's not working, so I get that working, and the fuel gauge. I think the temp is actually working. Fix those little things. It's got a generator. I would convert that to 12 volts. Obviously, get all the lights you can out of that parts car, or find another car, or whatever, get all that stuff in it that's missing. And, you know, make it roadworthy, road legal, get your brake lights, tail lights, headlights, interior lights. I don't think I'd even mess with the power windows, getting them working. Drill some holes in the floor, put some bed liner or some type of, I don't know, some paint down there to seal it up a little bit better with drain holes. Just run it, enjoy it. Just park it next to the Thunderbird guys to irritate them. Because, like I said, this is a really rare car. They only made 1,427 of these sports Roadsters, first year of them. And yeah, it's just enjoy it. Park next to the snobby Mustang and Camaro and Thunderbird and Cobra guys and just be like, yeah, I got a super rare car too. Get one of those signs made up, but like make it all trashy, like one of 1,400 made and a picture of it in the barn. You can see my breath today. Not exactly roadster weather. Go get your flannels and sweatshirts and fleece stocking caps at mortskerepair.com. It's that time of year, unfortunately. You know, for not doing anything other than flicking the points and throwing a coil on it, this thing runs pretty good. Definitely needs an accelerator pump, but I don't think we even pulled any spark plugs out. It's pretty good. Maybe they put all that stuff in there when they put her away. These are nice driving cars, I gotta say. And these are one of the first years, I think, where the power steering was actual sector instead of that Ram assist stuff. I think they had that on Mustangs, and that wasn't until 64, so they had that. I think even that 67 Cougar had that Ram assist power steering. So yeah, this thing was ahead of its time. Unibody construction, got the swing away steering. It's got some really cool gauges. This whole interior, these interiors, Thunderbirds in general, super awesome. I think they're pretty neat. So I would pretty much rock any of the first 4 series of Thunderbirds. 55 to 7's big money. 58 to 60, I mean they're money, but not really. I don't know. Squarebirds, they're not my favorite. The Bulletbirds, on the other hand, my favorite Thunderbird ever. I didn't always want one, but you know, if I was gonna have one, this is gonna be the one I want, so I'm glad this one kind of fell in our lap. But I scratched my itch, so somebody else needs to own this thing, take it to completion. If I keep it too long, I'll probably do what I said earlier, just rattle bomb it. It's gonna sit outside all winter. The floors are gonna get worse because we're gonna forget to drill holes in the frame. I don't really want to spend a day driving to Minneapolis to go grab a parts car to rip apart to clutter up my yard. So anyway, you should own this thing. Price and availability in the video description. You think she'll do a donut? No, but it'll die. Now I have to get out and try to get it started by myself. Oh, we got a little steam action. Gotta fix the door handle too. Little steam coming out, but that's probably just from the coolant that's coming out of the water pump and going in hot things. So let's start on its own. Give me my loser switch back. Oh no. Oh no, not the connector. I just threw a wrench in things. Our battery doesn't sound happy. Our cooling system doesn't sound happy either. Oh boy, she's really burbling out now. You're fine. Noted, Thunderbirds don't like donuts. How am I gonna push this with 2 hands? Oh yeah, fix the starter bendix. You're fine. 390s love heat. All right, let's get home. No more donuts. Not even the glazed ones. We're on a diet. Woo, real steamy. C6 shifts through all 3 gears. There's 3rd, 2nd. The C6 is a nice upgrade. I don't know that the Cruise-O-Matics, I think that's what these came with, are bad transmissions. I think they were reliable. From what I remember, it's just, they're obsolete. Nobody works on them. I think they started out in 2nd gear, so that's not really desirable, you know, if you had a hot rod like a 62 Thunderbird Sports Roadster. But yeah, C6 seems to work good. Shifter works good. It's all right. Oh yeah, fix the ignition switch so you can start it from inside the car. A couple of nights and weekends and a little bit of sweat equity, and this thing would be a really good car. Unfortunately, they're not super valuable. I think I sent Chin one the other day. It was a pretty nice one. I can't remember if it was convertible or not, but it was like between $7,000 and $9,000. You know, you can't even get a car painted for that anymore. So it's like, if you really want one of these, don't fix one up. Just buy a done one. You'll be money ahead. But if you just want to pick this one up super cheap and scuff it and shoot it and brag that you got a super rare Thunderbird Sports Roadster, that would be the way to go. You know, corn and beans are still green yet, but in the next couple videos they'll be changing colors. Fall is just around the corner. I cannot believe how smooth this thing runs for not having touched the carburetor or the fuel system. That's insane. Speaking of the fuel system, I guess we did throw an electric fuel pump in it, and hopefully we got enough battery power to run that electric fuel pump. Or the mechanical pump's got enough power to suck the fuel through the electric fuel pump to get us home. We got a couple miles to go. There's some weed out here that ain't combined yet. I don't see much of that around here anymore. That and all the wheat's pretty much harvested right now. Good thing about cooling weeks is the temp light can't come on when there's no coolant to tell that it's overheating. I did notice that it needs an idler arm on the right front. There's a little bit of play in that, but I cannot reiterate how solid the body is on this thing. There's a little bit of filler that I've noticed. That's the nice part about this 20-year-old bodywork is it's not hiding anything, and if it would have been bad bodywork, it's showing by now. This was a super solid car to start out with. There's not a single pinhole in the entire floor. The trunk is solid. This thing is just super, super good. So starting with a solid base is the way to go. Rust repair sucks. We're gonna stop right here because we don't want to be dead on the highway, but we're dead almost on the highway. These people are gonna get a show driving by. 62 Thunderbird Roadster rolling backwards, 40 degrees out, rolling smoke out of the hood. Is it smoke? Is it fog? It's steam. That's what it is. It's steam. All right, let's see if it'll start one more time. I bet she's pretty dead. Oh yeah, we're cooking with steam now. It's even pushing her out the headlight holes. Come on, baby, can you do it one more time? We're on the home stretch. Yeah, that water pump's warm. It's cooking all the coolant right off of it. Ooh, I can taste it. Mmm, coolant. What's your problem? Everything's fine. I can see the farm from here. We got this. Come on, baby. Home stretch. When we get past this hill, we can coast home. 1, 2, 3. Man, that C6 shifts great. Brakes pull to the right still. It's not a NASCAR, it's a road course car. Looks like we made it! Park her out back here in Skid Row until somebody comes and buys it. Oh yeah, she's got the smoke screen engaged out the back of the old Rockets out back. Didn't even diesel. I mean, it's warm, but it's not like ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk warm, right, Duff? You missed out. It was an exciting time. I'm glad you weren't with, because every time I'd have go start it, you'd have bailed out the side and took off on me chasing birds. Let's unplug that fuel pump so our battery don't go dead. Deader. We got steam coming out every orifice. I think I even saw some coming out the back. Anyway, she's a good looking rig. Needs some cooling system work. Like I said, it ain't even that hot. It's just whizzing out that hole. We gotta fix our loser switch. Times are tough around here. That being said, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for supporting us. The best way to support us is to like, share, comment on the videos. Go check out the merch, mortske.com. Like I said, we got flannels, we got sweatshirts, we got fleece beanies for the upcoming cold season. If you don't have a cold season, you know, maybe you got a cold beer season, and we got magnetic can koozies and magnetic screwdrivers and decals. We got super scrapers on hand. Go check it out, mortske.com. That's a great way to support us. If you really want to support us, you can go check out us on Patreon and help us out there. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody who's helped us out and who's followed us through the years and watches the videos and everything else and all that good stuff. So Duff and I can't thank you guys enough. And if you want to support us, get this thing out of my yard. That'll put a couple bucks into our pocket so we can, you know, work on cool things like Ford Club Wagon vans. It's the Chateau 123. But best part is license plates are on. Happiness is coming. We're working on that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Get yourself a Thunderbird. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. This thing would look super good in somebody's yard. When I was getting it running and taking some thumbnail pictures, it does need to be a little bit lower. They all do. But it should be super easy to lower. Just cut some coils in the front, put some spacer blocks in the rear. It should be good to go. Give this thing a rattle can paint job. Throw the headlight and taillights in it. Get some trim. You know, maybe a seat for your gal pal or buddy or buddies, or better yet, get a back seat, take all your buddies with. Put some exhaust on it, cooling system, brakes. You know, it needs some things, but it's a dang good start, and I think we're gonna price it pretty dang affordable. So go check it out, price in the video description. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. And remember, doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you're having fun. 62 Thunderbird Sports Roadster, one of 1,427. There's probably only, you know, hundreds of them left, so that was pretty fun, pretty cool. We're probably not gonna get a car that rare. I mean, Nash Metropolitan's way more rare, and there's 3 of them. Spoiler alert. All right, on to the next one. Duff's ready for hunting season. That's in October. We got a month yet, Duff. It's not that cold.